This is the plaintiff, Lori Morales. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and it was supposed to be a smoke-free house. The very first night she spent there, she smelled smoke, and sure enough, the tenant across the hall was a smoker. Her son has asthma. The defendant lied to her. She had to move out, and now the lousy landlord won't refund her $2,800 in rent and security. So she's suing him right here, right now. This is the defendant, John Stamoulis. He says the plaintiff came to see the apartment 3 times, and when she did, he introduced her to this stepson who would be her neighbor, and he was smoking a cigarette. She knew full well she'd be living near a smoker. Is coming up with this cockamamie story now because she changed her mind, and he owes her nothing because she didn't give him 60 days' notice as required in her lease. He's accused of hiding something. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,400 for lost rent.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the apartment she rented from the defendant was supposed to be smoke-free, but it wasn't. Somebody smoked inside. Now, the defendant saying she knew the guy smoked. It's the case of I'm camel TO'd.
Thank you, Douglas. Ms. Morales, you are suing Mr. Stamoulis, your former landlord, for $2,800 that you want returned to you, that you paid to him for an apartment, which, according to you, he rented to you under false pretenses, because as it turns out, people were smoking. All right, what did you rent out?
Your Honor, I rented out a 2-bedroom apartment.
What kind of building is it?
It's a single-family residence with 2 apartments adjoined by a shared hallway.
Okay, but you have your own kitchen, your own bathroom, your own whatever.
Correct.
All right, so what happened?
Well, I signed a non-smoking lease.
Right, your lease actually says no smoking.
Correct. So the gentleman, I asked him politely to not smoke inside of the residence.
Right.
He, in turn, said to me that he was going to smoke in the residence because it was cold outside. And then the smoke was coming back into the shared hallway that I had to go through with my 12-year-old son to get into my apartment doorway. Since it was a shared entry, we both had to go in and out through the same hallway. So that is where...
Where would you smell the cigarette smoke? Just in the hallway?
No, because it was coming under my doorway.
Well, that's what I figured.
Correct.
All right, so
Yes.
so you're actually smelling the smoke
Yes.
also in your apartment?
Yes.
All right, and who is the other tenant? My understanding is he's related to the defendant?
I believe it's somehow related to him through...
Stepson.
Your stepson, okay.
Yes.
So when does she call you and say, I can't live here?
The end of November.
Okay, and why does she say she cannot live there?
Because her son, he can get the smoke, I don't know, but whenever I see her son.
Okay, how old's your son?
My son is 12 years old.
He's asthmatic?
Yes, I had to take him to the doctor. I have a copy of the medical report.
Where they, in fact, prescribed several inhalers for him?
Yes, he was wheezing.
And that happened on what day?
I took him to the doctor on November 15th.
All right, and did he ever sleep in that apartment again?
No, I took him to my parents.
You moved in on November 9th.
Yes.
So we're talking about right away.
Yes.
All right, do you ever call him before the end of November to tell him we have a problem?
Well, what happened was I gave the gentleman a phone call and I told him we needed to speak. I then went and met him inside of his portion of the home.
Is this in the end of November or before the end of November?
No. I, spoke with him right away. He was under the impression that he had spoken to the gentleman about not smoking in the home because of my 12-year-old son. And he said that he would refund my check to me. And I said that, I had to go find a place to live because I had no place to go, that my son was going to stay with my parents, but then I in turn had to go find a new residence. And that was my month's rent and my month's security that I had.
Plus the trouble of moving again.
Correct. I had to pay. I had moving and storage fees. I had,
So you tell him that and he says what?
I have no problem. I'm going to give you your money back. In good faith, I gave the gentleman back his key. I vacated the apartment. By the 26th, I had a moving truck come. I had to find people to help me.
You got a new tenant right away, didn't you?
No.
According to you, he got a new tenant right away or no?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He's,
all right. So he doesn't return your money. Does he ever tell you, listen, I'm not going to return your money?
It took me about 10 days of, I gave him a little break. I said, okay.
Okay, I don't need to hear about all that. I just want to ask you, did he ever finally say to you, I'm not returning your money?
Yes.
First, he gave you a bunch of excuses about, I have to wait for this, I have to wait for that. Then he just said, look, I'm not going to return your money. Did he tell you why?
He just said that he didn't really give me any reason. He just said to me, I'm not going to give you money back.
And he didn't say because you didn't give me any notice?
No.
Okay. And according to you, you don't feel like you should have to return her money because she didn't give you any notice?
Yes.
Because under your lease, you can leave in 60 days, right? You just have to give 60 days notice?
Yes, but
you understand that one of the things that you warrant when you give somebody an apartment is that they're going to be able to live there. And this is a building that is on the lease. The actual address of the building is on the lease, and it says no smoking this big all the way across. So why is it the other guy gets to smoke in the house and then smoke up her no smoking premises?
It's different apartment, Your Honor.
I understand. And normally I would say to her, you know what? You don't have a right for your neighbor not to smoke. I understand that. This is a little bit different because it's an apartment in the same building and you rent out do you even have a CO to rent out? What town is this? Do you have the ability to rent it out to two separate families when it's a single family home?
I am retired.
I am retired is the answer to my question?
Okay, so the lease says no smoking. Somebody's smoking in the apartment. Can the person who doesn't smoke just break the lease, get her security back, and move?
Yeah.
Because?
If the rule is no smoking, then it's no smoking.
Okay, that seems pretty simple. Everybody agree?
I agree, yeah. They should be able to break the lease if they're allergic to smoke, if they don't want to catch cancer.
So if there's something in a lease that gets violated, the tenants can move out, correct?
Yes, it's a violation of a contract.
Fair point. God, she's good. Going inside the courtroom.
You know what I'm asking, though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm asking, right?
I have to rent.
You're
Yes.
treating it as a two-family home when it's a one-family home? Are you allowed to rent it out?
It's a one-family home.
Yeah.
But the town,
In any event, let me just ask you, when she tells you I'm going to move because I can't, he's smoking in the house, do you ever talk to your stepson and ask him to stop it?
Yes, but Mrs. Lori know he smoked inside before she's come give me the money.
Really? She's got an asthmatic son. What are the odds that that's true?
She came inside and she taken up everything. And she says, I like very much the apartment.
All right, and then you give her a lease with the address of the house saying no smoking.
No smoke and her apartment.
That's not what the lease says. The lease just has the address of the house.
Yes.
There's no separate apartment number for her. She figures no smoking. Fabulous. She's got an asthmatic son. This case is different from someone who says, hey, I don't want to pay him rent because the unit next door that someone else owns, the guy's smoking. Hey, you don't have a right to, you're living in an apartment.
Yeah.
But this is different.
Yeah, Your Honor. She came and she gave me $500. And we was around the apartment and I introduced to her my son and my son was smoking that time. That happened by 18.
Was his son smoking when you met his son?
Not in the house.
Was he smoking outside the house?
He was smoking in the driveway, but he was not smoking inside of the home.
Did she meet him in the driveway or in his apartment?
No, his was on the entry of his door because I knocked the door and he came outside.
Did you ever suggest to him to just return the security deposit? At the beginning, you were just asking for the security deposit, right?
Like I said, I
yes or no? My questions are so simple. No one can ever answer them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not until he refused to give you the security deposit you decided you wanted to sue for November rent also.
Yes.
Did he ever tell you, I'll just evict my son?
He said to me when I approached him about returning my money, he said, would you like me to ask him to leave? I said, the damage is done. When he's blatantly told me, I live here too, I could do what I want. And I didn't want to have confrontation with people. I didn't want to have to be in and out.
I mean, I see his side too, to be honest with you. His landlord totally lets it. Does he pay rent?
No.
Okay. So, is he a grown man? He's grown enough to smoke.
Yeah.
Maybe he should pay rent.
He's not paying rent.
Why? Because happy wife, happy life? All right, that's between you and him. Show me the record from your son going to the doctor.
This is the first visit, and this is the follow-up check.
And was he already under a doctor's care for respiratory issues?
Well, he had gotten sick about the 13th or so, and then I brought him to the doctor.
He gotten sick with what?
He was coughing, sore throat, and he was wheezing.
Yeah. Under these circumstances, I think returning both the security deposit and November rent is appropriate. I'm ordering a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $2,800. As to your counterclaim against her for additional lost rent for the same reasons, the answer to that is no. Good luck, folks.
Well, here comes the defendant out here. Step right next to me here. You lose this case. What's going through your mind coming out?
I don't want to say anything because I like Your Honor.
Well, it wasn't her fault that you got yourself in trouble here.
No, because Mrs. Lori, my son was smoking, and by 28, she gave me the rest of the money.
Didn't you know that there was going to be some trouble down the road with the smoking when you know she didn't want any kind of smoke around her or her son?
It's a different apartment.
Well, you don't have to smoke right in somebody's face to be affected.
Anyway, I don't want to say anything. I like very much Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, come on in here. Are you satisfied how this comes out?
Oh, yes.
How bad did it get?
Well, you can't rent somebody something that's, not really the truth. And I'm very happy that I'm getting all my money back. And
how about the health of the young one?
well, he's okay.
Yes?
He's good, and that's really my main concern. It wasn't really fair to either one of us, and he's my main priority.
Okay, over to Harvey now.
Okay, I cannot tell you how many of these cases we've had over many, many years where tenants and landlords have these oral leases, and the fact is, in most cases, they're valid leases. The problem is when you have this kind of a dispute where somebody says the landlord said one thing and the tenant said another thing, the only way to really fully protect yourself is to get it in writing, and in this case, that's exactly what happened, and look at the rights the tenant had. Getting in writing is everything.